Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Now, I have to firstly apologise. I said in the last video that I'd done on Aventi that I was not going to do any more watch content. Now, I have to apologise because since then, I've actually spoken to a few employees or ex-employees of Aventi, and I've got an update directly from the horse's mouth, if you like. Now, I've made some notes because obviously I had conversations with a few different people, and I just want to share them with you. Now, if you've got an Aventi on order or they've got money of yours at the moment, you'll find this particularly interesting. If you've got an interest in watches, obviously this can pass over to other brands and things, you know. So it's worth hearing me out. Hear me out with the message I've got. So I've been in touch with Ryan. Now, Ryan was basically the face of Aventi. He wasn't the CEO, he wasn't the founder, but he was with a guy called Hanu, who was the founder, the thinking person behind the brand, and he was with him from day one. I bought some watches years ago from Aventi. In my opinion, they were very good quality for the money that I paid. I have only got one of them now. I sold one of them on, but I've still got that one. Getting straight to it though, I've been in touch with Ryan for years and years. Now, I had a chat with him yesterday and also some of the, shall we call them employees of Aventi? Well, now obviously ex-employees of Aventi. Now, I spoke at length with Ryan last night, and he appears to be the fall guy of the whole situation here. Now, everything I say today is obviously alleged. I mean, I can't prove either way. I've not had Hanu's side of the story. Obviously, I've had Ryan's side of the story. I have been in touch with Ryan for many, many years, and I've sort of built up a bit of a friendship with him. He's a very honest guy, very straight talking guy, great salesperson. He was a very good person to have at the head of Aventi, as the face of Aventi. Like I say, I've written these notes down because obviously I don't want to miss anything and I want to, address things in order. But he appears to be the person that's the fall guy. He's the person that seems to be thrown under the bus at the moment. Even after we was talking yesterday, he refused to badmouth the brand at all, or Hanu, believe it or not. Hanu's gone public on another channel, we'll get onto that in a minute, and sort of badmouthed Ryan, and they put up a statement on their thing, sort of edging the blame towards Ryan. That's how it appears. And even with all that in mind, he did not badmouth Hanu or the brand. He refused to trash any intentions or have any bad words to say about the brand. He's a firm believer in the brand. He loves it. It's been part of his life, a big part of his life. He was very hopeful that there will be a deal still. So if you've got money invested in Aventi, like as in you're waiting for a watch or you're waiting for a refund, all is not lost. As I understand it, Ryan was very, very hopeful of a deal. He's put a deal forward for somebody to rescue the whole company. And as I understand it, that's in discussions at the moment. He maintained that he didn't want to appear on any channels, so he didn't want to appear on YouTube. He doesn't want to get involved in the tit for tat, as he put it, and he doesn't want to, misinform anyone. Doesn't want to spread any rumours, make anything worse than it already is. He was very passionate about making Aventi still work, and he feels that the right deal can be achieved to rescue the whole thing. So, this is, although it's a serious situation and it's about a watch brand where they've got people's money, there's other channels that are calling it out as a scam, etc., etc. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. It's too difficult for me, getting two sides of a story to sort of make any sort of assumption on that. But I understand it that there is discussions in place right now to rescue the company. Now, all we can do is hope that that comes to fruition and everyone that's got a watch on order gets their watch delivered. Anyone that's got refunds waiting, that they get their money back, and the watch brand can move on. It's happened many times before with other companies. The company falls into a financial situation, a company comes along, buys it out, and then it gets rectified and the company carries on. as I understand it, and from my discussions with various people that was working for Aventi, it seems like it's a huge mismanagement of funds, mismanaged partners. Obviously, they had to invest quite a lot of money in new movement, so I understand the Swiss movement, and that obviously took an awful lot of money to fund that investment. Again, from my chats and my research that I've looked into, I would say that a lot of the problems, financial problems that Aventi have found themselves in at this time are from the very top. So, you know, we can, you know, bad financial decisions, bad financial management, overspending, possibly in a personal capacity. So, you know, with my personal businesses, I make sure that my staff are paid first. That's, you know, the rent, the bills, the overheads, the stock, and my staff. They all have to come first. If there's anything left after that, then yes, prior to tax, that's money that I can pay myself. But you have to get your priorities right. It's not a matter of I take my money first. I make sure that all of the bills are covered and all of the staff's wages and their overheads and their taxes and all the taxes and anything to do with the business at all, insurances, you name it, they're all covered first. Once that's all covered, if there's anything left over, then that's down to me to decide whether I take that as a dividend payment or a withdrawal or a wage, or I leave it in the company, we reinvest it, we could buy something else, if that makes sense. So that's just how I personally run my businesses that I've got. Now, it doesn't seem that Aventi was doing it that way. Again, this is all alleged and I cannot, you know, I can't confirm it either way, but this is the impression that I've got. All I can say is I hope that, I believe that Ryan would like a retraction statement. And I think that would be fair from what I've heard. And it would probably hold Aventi, in my eyes, in a higher esteem. I think that Aventi would come out well if they done something like that. Ryan, in his own words to me, and I'm going to get a little graphic in this because I don't like swearing on the channel, but he says, I just want the best for the fucking company, mate. That was his actual words to me, and I wrote that down when he said that to me. He's very passionate about the company, even though it seems that, you know, the company hasn't, well, certain things have happened that seems to appear to have thrown him under the bus. Ryan was the face of Aventi. Ryan was repeatedly trying to save the company. There's been some other financial issues in the past, as I understand. All the staff, I believe, are owed money because of what I'm hearing from other members of the Aventi team. So there's quite a lot of money outstanding at the moment, but there does seem to be the possibility of a rescue package which can bring the brand back up again. The brand was impressive, I'm going to be honest with you. I was very, very impressed by the brand. I was very impressed by the two watches that I had. I had an awful lot of comments whenever I wore the watches. So, you know, fingers crossed for everyone. And this isn't just obviously, you know, to keep the brand going and to keep all the staff, you know, get their money that they're owed, and hopefully Ryan could rejoin, or I don't know how it goes forward. But for people that have paid all this money, you know, they're waiting for watches that are not forthcoming at the moment, or waiting for refunds with no money in the business. So one of the problems I can sort of imagine though at the moment, say there's a rescue deal that happens today, it's going to be a little bit of time before they can get the first watch out, because it's going to be 2 or 3 months before that watch can be manufactured and shipped. So that's just something to bear in mind. If there was a deal done today, a deal struck today, it could be some delay still before people are getting or receiving the watches that they've ordered. I do know that discussions are moving forward. I do understand, as again, this is all alleged, I do understand that there is 2 rescue offers on the table, and that is being discussed with, obviously, Hanu, the CEO of the company. My advice would be that they need to regenerate stock fairly quickly. If this rescue package can be agreed, they need to regenerate stock fairly quickly. They need to manufacture the watches and dispatch them as quick as possible to start resetting and giving a bit more trust back in the brand. That's just an idea of how I see it. And obviously bearing in mind at the moment, there is no staff. So they would either have to come back on the promise or under the reimbursement of their wages being paid, or Aventi's got to find new staff, which isn't, you know, especially staff that are coming into a system where there's no one there to train them, etc. So it could be a bit of an uphill struggle for it. Now, I've got a bit of a slating by some strange little man called Boswell. Never heard of him before, I'm going to be honest with you, but obviously a few people were sending me messages yesterday saying this guy's just give you a bit of a running down. Now, I watched Brendan's video a couple of days ago on Aventi. I didn't know who he was at all. And maybe I have used a couple of things from what I've heard in that video for my video that I done, my previous video on Aventi. Now, he seems to be a bit miffed that I didn't mention him or give him thanks for the information that I saw. I didn't use any of his content on my channel, and what I saw, I didn't actually believe because of knowing Ryan for so many years. What I was hearing coming out from that side of things, I didn't personally believe. So no, I didn't give him any credit for it. And he made a very strange little video yesterday, shouting at myself, Paul Thorpe, producer Michael. Very, very strange. Like his veins were all up in his head. You have to give yourself a little bit of a chill, mate, because at your age you can pop a blood vessel, mate. But yeah, well, as I say, if it makes it any better for you, Brendan, then thank you very much for me watching your video on Aventi, which made me think, oh, I can go and have a look into this myself. I thank you for that. I mean, there was other Aventi stuff as well. But I didn't actually watch it on your channel. I watched it on Oshin's channel where you was live on there. So do I give credit to Oshin? Because that's the channel I watched it on. And then obviously after that, I looked at your video. So I only heard about it through Oshin. And by the way, Oshin makes some fantastic videos. He really, really does. But like I say, he seems to have the ump that I didn't mention him. So thanks very much, Brendan. Appreciate that. But you do still need to learn, mate, how to say the brand, and just so you can see it here. It's Aventi, not Avanti. Aventi. And I know he seems to have a problem that I didn't. I'm just correcting you. You know, it's a bit like me calling Ferrari. You know, you have to sort of pronounce it as it's meant to be pronounced. Anyway, we'll move along. But thank you very much for letting me see your video. Appreciate that. Ryan himself has been in some financial losses, along with other members of staff, like I've said. And I know for a fact that Ryan recently was trying to put a deposit on his first ever property, his first ever home. And because obviously he wasn't paid the money that he was owed by the company, that property deal has fallen through. So he's had financial losses with what's gone on as well. Ryan has also stayed in touch with his customers. He was encouraged at the time. This was going back a while, and I remember him telling me about this. And in fact, I sort of had a discussion with him about a similar thing. So basically, the A10 was the first brand, the first watch model that come out from Aventi. I still got that watch. I also bought at the time a crystal A11. So that was a crystal clear see-through watch that was had a turbulent movement in it, and it was a lovely watch, beautiful watch, but I never really wore it, and I'm going to be honest with you. So I spoke to Ryan about selling it, and in the end I found a friend of mine actually ended up buying that watch off of me. But Ryan would also try and help people that owned a watch that wanted to move the watch along, maybe to buy another Aventi watch. So he would, you know, I would say, let's put a scenario there, right? So I would have my A11 crystal watch that I want to sell, and my end goal is to put a deposit, or put this money that I'm going to sell this for towards purchasing a Swiss Movement Aventi watch. So I want to sell my watch. I paid, say, $5,000 for it. I want my $5,000 back. So Ryan then would try and help put the deal together with someone that wants to buy the A11 watch. Now, bear in mind, you can't buy it from Aventi because it's been discontinued, but you can buy it if you're in the know and know someone that wants to buy the watch. So Ryan would try and connect you two guys up, and you know, obviously if he sold a watch for me, I would give him a drink out of it. And then I would then be able to put my money that I've got from my watch that I don't want anymore, that somebody else wants but can't buy because it's discontinued, I can then put that money towards the next Aventi watch. So everyone's a winner, aren't they? So I've sold a watch that I no longer want. Ryan can help me facilitate that sale, although it didn't happen in my case because a friend of mine bought the watch. The person that wants to buy the A11, that can't buy the A11 clear crystal watch, gets the watch that he wants, although it's discontinued, so he's happy. And Aventi get another sale because I would put, I could put that money towards another Aventi watch, or any other watch, to be fair, but that could go towards a Swiss-made movement Aventi watch. So there's no winners in that. There's no losers, should I say, in that scenario. So finally, I just want to do a message to Hanu. I've spoken to him on the email a few times in the past, going back some years. He won't remember me from Adam, but it would be lovely if he did. And, this is a personal thing. This is a personal request from me. This hasn't come from Ryan. This hasn't come from any members of staff. Maybe retract your statement and maybe if you find that it's not true, it would be a nice way to make up a little bit of the damage that's caused to Ryan. And I do believe from the conversations I've had over many years with Ryan that he's honest and a decent guy. Take your rescue offers that are on the table very, very seriously, but do it very, very quickly, because as time moves on, by the hour, by the day, by the week, the brand is suffering. And at the moment it's recoverable, I believe. You may have to in the future do different things where, the watch has got to be ready, they've got a serial number, and it's immediately shipped to them. So you may need to put some investment money into stock, have physical watches, rather than it all be pay now, then get the watch ordered and made and then send it. Look, this is, like I say, personal opinions. And make it right. Most importantly, make it right for all the people that have entrusted their hard-earned money and paid you or Aventi for a watch that hasn't been delivered. And there's probably people out there that are waiting for refunds. This stuff has all got to be put right and very, very quickly. And then I believe that it can still be at this time rebranded, not necessarily with a new name, but with a new management system, with new ideas. I believe it can be rebranded and reborn again. So I do believe possibly, and I hope this finds a couple of people that are owed money by this company. I hope it finds them and gives them a little bit of positivity. I can't tell you whether the deal is going to be accepted or even go through, but there is some hope there. It hasn't just gone belly up. I know for a fact that Hanu definitely didn't try to go out to scam anyone. I know that. I've been told that by several people that are close to him. So I know that his intentions are good. I know that he doesn't want to let anyone down, and I know he's probably up against it at the moment, but there seems to be a rescue offer there, and hopefully that can come to some sort of deal. Everyone can end, this horror story can end with a happy ending, can't it? Thank you very much, guys, and I apologise again for talking about another watch video. Like I say, this channel isn't really just about watches, but it just seems like it for the last couple of watches. But there's been a couple of videos that I had to get out there while they're relevant, and hopefully we can have a great ending to this story, and everyone can shake hands, make up, have a cuddle, and all the customers can get their watches or their refunds, whatever it needs to be. The watch brand can be relaunched, and it will be better than ever. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks, guys.